Hello there all you absolutely magnificent people, and welcome back to another live stream of An Ecologist Plays. We talk about nature while playing games. We are carrying on with our city builder, or city building through the ages in an ecologically orientated manner, and we are carrying on with Dawn of Man over here. Apparently some of my people are very thirsty. They have been working very hard. In the meantime, since last time's stream, we've had a few deaths here and there. One person, well, two people died of old age, but yeah, everything else going quite according to plan. Our settlement here has expanded a bit. We've done quite a bit of hunting. As you can see, our food is actually quite good for a change compared to the previous two times, and the winter is basically at an end. And when spring rolls around, well, there we go, we've reached a 30 population. That is marvelous. And when spring rolls around, we are going to, of course, start domesticating some crops. That is going to also then help us with food, because we are going to be able to cultivate our own crops. As you can see, it is surprisingly cold on this side of the world. We are in, well, winter at least is in full swing over here. I've got my scarf, I've got my gloves. If I didn't have the earphones on, I would have had a beanie on as well. So I am dressed for winter. Hope you all are keeping warm and, you know, enjoying, well, if you are in the northern hemisphere, I hope you are enjoying summer, because we are all longing for summer on this side of the world. But I hope you all are having a wonderful weekend. Let's see, I see Johan, you are here, so welcome Johan, welcome Fireduck, welcome everyone, welcome to the stream, glad you are all with us. Let's see, so Johan, you're saying you've had some nasty storm warnings. Hopefully we'll have connection the entire stream, hope so too, eh? And then Fireduck, you also say storming there, and you also hope you don't lose power, goodness me. So even though we are in winter over here, at least we don't have storms at the moment. I just have to quickly give Cinnamon food down here, because she is begging for food down here, just a moment, there we go. Alright, she has just eaten, so our youngest cat, she has just eaten before the stream, and she's like, no, I want to eat again now, because that's how it works. Usually when I'm recording videos for Tuesdays and Fridays, yeah, she is here, and she's demanding food. Like, almost every single video, she at some point demands food. Let's see, what are you doing? There we go, you're bringing to come and build this sledge. As you can see, I have been grinding a bit to get more knowledge points, and I have 24, that is marvelous. So in order to do that, I have built a few things. We've got 2 transport posts. We've got a 5th sledge being built. We've got three mortars that have been built. A whole bunch of stuff. I've done some hunting as well off screen, and a whole bunch of stuff crafted. So the idea was to get as many points as possible, so that we don't have to spend a lot of today's stream trying to get enough points to do stuff. Let's see. See also Johan's saying, see, they are also in survival situation. Yeah, also, always in a survival situation. Let's see here. In terms of knowledge, we may as well start spending for cereal domestication, because this is going to allow us to, after that, get pulse domestication, which will give us the ability to get veg and chickpeas and lentils and peas, and domesticate those things. But in the meantime, or before we do that, we also will have the ability to domesticate barley, einkorn, and emmer. Einkorn is German. It means one kernel. Ein, one. Korn is kernel, or in Afrikaans we call it koring. Well, koring in Afrikaans would also be wheat. But yeah, so the einkorn is a little bit different from modern day wheat, because, I'm not sure, I think we've got einkorn over here somewhere. It's a little bit hidden. Oh, that's emmer. Emmer is also an ancient grain. I honestly don't know where the einkorn was. But anyway, einkorn is on that little stalk there, which has all the flowers initially, and then there's the grains, the seeds there. Each of those little flowers, individual flowers, with einkorn has 1 seed in it. With modern day wheat, usually 2 or 3 kernels or seeds per little clump there on the stalk. Okay, so that's a little bit of a difference between modern day wheat and einkorn. And emmer, I think, also had a single corn or kernel per spikelet, as it is called. A spikelet is that little individual flower that is part of the inflorescence of the wheat. There we go. Sorry, I definitely need more coffee here. See, Firedaki also mentioning that I thought you said pinecone for a moment. Not yet. I think we are going to get to pinecones later on, but not yet. All right. Oh, einkorn sounds like pinecone. There we go. Okay. I was wondering what sounds like pinecone, but yeah, einkorn. So that'll be the one thing we will be able to domesticate. But I think since we are heading into spring, let's actually get the Neolithic era started. There we go. Marvelous. So now we are officially, we have survived the winter, we have cereal domestication unlocked, And we now have the Neolithic unlocked. So we are now in the late Stone Age. And this gives us farming. So this will be an ability, or gives us the opportunity to automate production of food, sustain more people in your settlement. You can plant a variety of crops, then harvest and process them to feed your people. Crops are usually planted in winter or spring, and can be collected in summer or autumn. So usually when we are, cultivating plants, we mostly go for annual plants that live for a season and then die. And at the end of that season, they produce flowers and lots of seeds, and that, of course, is usually what we are then after. But not necessarily always, because if you look at things like cauliflower and stuff like that, you're eating the flowers or the inflorescences, or in cabbage, you are eating the leaves. But if you're looking at grains, you are eating the end of the life cycle, you are eating the seeds there. Okay, technically, what the plants need to actually reproduce, but we now go, yeah, we're going to eat that. All right. And so usually they grow during the warmest summers, at least spring and summer, ending up in autumn when they flower and set seeds. Important to plant a variety of crops, as diseases can easily wipe out all the individuals of a single species. So that is what we are going to do. I've actually never had a look at farming in Dawn of Man, so this will be interesting, to say the least. Also, make sure that we've got enough sickles around. Okay, so I think we've got enough sickles. Of all the crop, cereals are probably the most important. They are not only a source of grain, but also straw, which we are going to need to build huts, which are a vital resource both as a building material and also as an animal food. Okay, great stuff. So I think, yeah, we are paused. Now, let's have a look here. We've got emmer over there. We've got lentils there. I don't think, no, we can't domesticate that yet. Okay, yeah, so we can only harvest the einkorn in fall, so we can't harvest that now, which is fine by me. More einkorn there, there's blueberry there. Oh wait, was this einkorn? Yeah, that's einkorn over there. Okay, so we'll have a look at that. And then emmer over here. Okay, good stuff. Okay, let's have a look here. Einkorn, okay, we can't zoom in more. But in each of those stalks, there are a whole bunch of individual little spikelets, little flowers. And we call those spikelets in the grasses. And each of those spikelets in einkorn would have a single grain. Now, the difference between the wild einkorn, also the wild emmer, which we have over here, and the cultivated versions thereof, is that there's a very big difference in what happens to the seeds. In the wild einkorn and emmer, the seeds, when they are ready, it actually falls off the stalk and it falls to the ground. And there, the idea is that they will fall off and they will be washed around, blown around, moved around. They don't stay in one spot. The problem is those are more difficult to actually then harvest. If you are a person harvesting seeds, it's more difficult to harvest because the moment you touch it, everything just falls apart. Or you get to the plant, the seeds are ripe, but the seeds are lying all over the ground, not on a single stalk. With modern day wheat and the descendants of these wild grains, the seeds actually stick together, so they don't fall apart. And it is probable that in the wild there would have been some individuals that actually had the seeds sticking to the stalk and not actually falling apart as they ripen. The problem with that, if you're a wild plant, is that your seeds, when it actually is ripe, the whole thing just breaks off. And now instead of one little seed growing in each little spot dispersed over a bigger distance or bigger area, you've got 20, 30 seeds all competing for resources at the same time in the same place. And that's not good. So you're going to have a lot of losses of your seedlings. So what is great for us as people to domesticate them is actually bad for the plants in the wild. So they would have wanted their seeds to actually fall apart. They would have been dispersed a little bit more, and they would have been growing quite nicely. But in those cases where those plants over there actually had the seeds clumping together and not falling apart when they ripen, the odds of those seeds actually surviving and reproducing again, in the wild at least, was very, very low. And then humans came around and go, we like that. We like that in it. We like the fact that it's all clumped together. We're going to take those seeds and we're going to plant those seeds. And then, because very often the grains are actually self-fertile and they also self-pollinate, you could very easily keep your little group of einkorn or emmer, which are, have their seeds clumped together rather than falling apart. You could very easily plant them away from all the other wild emmer and einkorn, and you could actually have the gene pool quite small, and most of the offspring and the descendants further along the line would have had those seeds that actually clump together rather than falling apart. And it's estimated that the cultivation of things like einkorn and emmer most likely took somewhere between 20 and 200 years. So a very short span of time for people to go, we like that, we're going to start growing it like that. Okay, so we'll get to why or how humans actually got to become a little bit more agricultural. We'll get to that in a bit. I'm just trying to figure out where all... Oh, there are all my hunters. Okay, you guys are going to where all the food is. Yeah, I think I still have some corpses that are over here. No, that's a cave hyena. Well, I thought I had still had some corpses. Where are you guys going? You're going to the sledge. Okay, you guys are doing your thing. Hopefully you are going to bring me some food. Where are you guys going? You get bone. Somewhere there's bone. Where? Is it here? Oh, there we go. No, that's stone. I did hunt a few things along here. Don't see... Is that bone? Yeah, that is a bone they're going to come and collect. Wow. Okay, I don't think there's much else over here. Let's see, how many hunters have we got in this area? 2 over there. So where are all my hunters at? Scattered all over the place. Okay. Do want to quickly check. Oh, we've got wolves up here. Okay, so let's hunt some wolves, I think. Okay, so I'm going to get them all. Just quickly run to over here. And we've got to select some wolves. This is a whole wolf pack. And in this case, I think these wolves would most likely, one of the males and one of the females, would be breeding. So we've got an adult male here, we've got an old male, we've got an adult female, and we've got an adult male. I suspect the adult female and adult male are the ones that are actually breeding. And the old male and the other adult male over here would not be breeding. So we're going to take those 2 out. We're going to leave these 2 and the 3 pups. That's the idea. We are going to try and do that. Okay. If everyone attacks us, well, then everybody dies. But if they don't, we are just hunting some wolfies over here. Okay. Are they moving off? They're moving off. Okay, never mind. We're not hunting them. Fine. Had this whole plan and then the plan just fell apart. Okay, we've got an ancient bison over here. We're going to hunt that then. Let's see, 75% of sickles is enough, while it makes sure that some villagers do other critical tasks. Great, yeah, so we don't have everybody just doing the same thing. You guys are running. I love the fact that these guys are running like that. Raspberry we can harvest in summer, I believe. Yeah, all the fruit are being produced over spring and summer. Okay, come on. Hopefully all of you are going to come closer. Come on. Yo, you guys are taking your sweet time to get there. I guess they are tired from running all the way over here and just to run back again. And then the main problem of farming is to judge how many farm plots you need for your current population while not overworking them for the entire season by farming. Yes, that is going to be a fine balance, that's for sure. You guys come back a little bit because everybody hasn't caught up yet. Alrighty. Now, let's go hunt. There we go. Hello there, SX Gaming. Welcome, welcome. Say hello. I think it's interesting watching an ecologist play games. Well, I'm glad you are here. Hope you enjoy the stream and hope you are having a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Let's see. This bison we are hunting is an adult male. It is a solitary one, very similar to what we see in modern day buffalo as well. Oh, you are attacking us, but you are dead. Okay, great stuff. So in Africa, at least, with the African buffalo, what we very often see, and I think, guys, we are going to go hunt an ibex as well, you know, since it is here. Let's go hunt that adult male over there. We're going to leave the young male. This is the future generation. We're going to leave that one. We're going to try and take out the adult male. Okay. Oh, yes, what I was saying. Yeah, I was trying to think what I was saying. With the African buffalo, what we have is that, yes, you've got a herd of a whole bunch of cows, of buffalo cows, a whole bunch of females, and then there may be some males among them as well. But very often what you also find are what we call daga boys. Daga is an African term to describe mud or cement, and that's because those males very often lie in mud pools. They are very dangerous. You don't see them. They're very often in tall grass amongst in the mud pools. and you walk up to them, and then bam, they will charge you, and you will die. Or most likely you will die. If you are trampled by a buffalo, good luck. So we call them Dagga boys, and those males, very often they've actually been pushed out of the herd by younger, stronger males. They kind of go lick their wounds away from everybody else, and I think that's what this bull over here was in fact doing. It's away from a breeding herd. It's currently just on its own. It is more dangerous for it to be on its own, so they are extra aggressive very often. But over time they may regain their strength again, and they may try to retake a herd or regain control of a herd. They may go back, and if they are successful, they become the breeding male again, until another young, strong male comes in and pushes them out of the herd. So there's this constant cycle of males being the breeding bull and males being pushed out and being a Dagga boy, and then becoming the breeding male again and being pushed out, becoming a Dagga boy. So there's this whole cycle, constant switching of roles in essence that they play. I see SX Gaming also saying, love learning about early humans. Read any of the Earth's Children books? I haven't. I have not yet. So I haven't actually heard of the Earth's Children's books yet. I'll definitely have to go have a look at that. Wait, why can't I harvest? Oh, the resource is exhausted. Okay. I was just like, why can I not harvest the tannins here? But that sounds very interesting though, SX Gaming. That sounds very, very nice. I must go and have a look then. I love this era as well. I love games also set in this era. There aren't a lot of games, at least in my opinion, not enough, that are actually set in this era, that you specialize in, or that you have to focus on more primitive tools and stuff like that. Another good example of something I also have enjoyed that is in this era is Neolithic. We'll be playing that after Dawn of Man. And then there is also things like Far Cry Primal. Also thoroughly enjoyed playing that. I haven't played that on the channel. Maybe one day I will. But that also, I mean, it's not necessarily as accurate, but it does give you a sense of how things were in that era. Really, really awesome. I feel like you should be taking notes. Yeah, well, at least there's always the chance to rewatch the videos afterwards as well. Oh, I love talking about nature. That's kind of why I started this channel. And it gives me more of a reason to play games. And, education, entertainment, that's the whole idea of this channel. And for me, some of my great loves would be nature. Obviously, my wife. My wife is number one. Then it's nature, education, and gaming. Those, not necessarily those three in those order, but wife comes first and then everything else. But yeah, love talking about nature. I would have loved to see these massive bison. I mean, look at that. Bigger horns than the modern-day American bison has. Bison. This is Bison antiquus. Oh, really cool. So, yeah, before we talk a little bit more about bison and stuff like that, with us now being able to actually cultivate, or soon able to cultivate einkorn and stuff like that. Oh, and I should probably just quickly pause. And, oh, there we go, plant. Oh, we can plant. Oh, yes. Okay, I don't think we've got any grains stored. I think we've got no grains, no flour, nothing like that. Okay. What made early humans possible? What made possible for humans to start domesticating crops? Because all around the world, from Europe, Asia, North America, South America, Africa, Australia, all continents except Antarctica, in a relatively, at more or less the same time, started cultivating crops. And different crops, of course. You had maize or corn, you had in South America, you had in the Fertile Crescent, so that's in the Near East, all the way from northern Egypt. Some scholars at least include northern Egypt in the Fertile Crescent, through modern-day Iraq, Israel, Iran, those areas there. That area is the Fertile Crescent. It's areas where you had crops that could be domesticated, enough water to actually irrigate them, and fertile soils. And it's basically the breadbasket of the world. And there they cultivated things like wheat and barley and rye. Those were cultivated there because the ancestral species, the wild species, occur there. Corn domesticated in South America, and then also spread to North America as well. If you're looking at some of the First Nations in North America, also corn was a staple food. And then in other parts of the world, in Australia for example, they used a wild grass they domesticated there, domesticated to some extent as well. And in Africa the same thing, a lot of grasses very often cultivated or domesticated first. Let's see, now that you are in the new tech area, might just check those traders. Oh, for new tech, it becomes more and more expensive in terms of tech points. That is a very, very good point. Let's see here, I don't think we've got any. We've got dry skin, skins, outfits, pulses, wooden spears, bows. No, we've got, unfortunately, no ticks here. Speaking of ticks, we can also look at perhaps pulse domestication. I think, yeah, we're going to grab that. Because now that we also have pulse domestication, we should be able to, there we go, plant a whole bunch of other things. Not yet rye. Rye we only get later on after domesticating the fruit trees. I think rye was also domesticated much later. The first things to be domesticated would be things like emmer, einkorn, barley as well a little bit later on. And then things like your lentils, the bitter veg, peas, those types of things were also domesticated later on. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to, let's see here, pick and hold to place a field. Oh, okay. So, now the thing is, I want to be ecologically orientated. I'm not going to have a massive field just of one crop. I don't know how it works in terms of cultivating of fields, because there is this trade-off. If you have a small little patch, and that's how it works in real life. If you've got a very small patch that has a crop, and let's say you've got in a 20 square meters, you've got 20 different crops. You are cultivating 20 different crops, each 1 by 1 meter. That's a lot of effort to now go and plant those plants individually and to harvest each one when they get ready. But if you've got a big block of the same crop, it's easy to harvest everything or plant everything at the same time, water everything at the same time, harvest everything at the same time. You don't have to worry about 20 different species worth of watering requirements and nutrients or fertilizers, all those types of things. So having a bunch of different species will be more time consuming, at least in real life. To some extent. If you're looking at a food forest, however, then it becomes a little bit different because you're using other principles to do that. But if you've got a monoculture, easier to grow lots of the same thing at the same time, harvest it at the same time. The problem is, and I think, Johan, you mentioned that that is a problem for you, at least if you're growing things, or in Dawn of Man here, you can have diseases coming in, and it will wipe out all the plants of a certain species. If you just have one crop that you're planting, well, then you don't have anything to eat because your entire farm failed. But if you had all the different plants planted, then at least if one crop fails, the others will survive. I'm just going to pick up Cinnamon's food before Memphis comes and eats it again. Because he is on a diet, he's not allowed to steal her food. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have little blocks. So let's see, fields are most space effective in 5x5, but you also need to clear large areas of trees in normal gameplay. You can always you always want to increase priority of all fields to max. Okay, so a 5x5, that's quite a big block for me. In an ecologically orientated manner, what I'm going to do, my thing is, these crops here, the grains are pollinated by wind. Okay, so if you're not looking at wanting them, if you want to have them breed with one another in that field, you would like them to be in a block. And that's the thing with corn, for example. Very often if you grow rows of corn in a garden, you don't have massive cobs forming, or the cobs don't have the kernels formed properly, because they don't get pollinated effectively. If you've got a square, a nice 5x5 block, in essence, then the pollination is increased and you actually have an increased yield. So for these cereals, we may want to actually plant them in blocks. But a lot of these legumes, they actually are self-pollinated. So you don't need to plant them in blocks, at least if you're looking at it ecologically. So I'm going to do things in an ecological manner, rather than going for what is best. I'm going to have a little 3x3 block of some crops. Okay, that's going to be it. That is for emmer, for einkorn. I'm going to have a 3x3 block over here. No, not going to have it there. I'm going to plant bitter veg along here. Come on. Okay, I need to do that and then plant like that. Okay. Then I'm going to see if I can have... I'm going to just have it like that. Kind of like around the trees. So this is definitely... I know it's going to be an eyesore for a lot of you guys, but this is ecological. This is how we are doing it. We're doing a whole patchwork of stuff here. And I think lentils, we're just going to have a little field, not up there. lentils, I think, will have a little, kind of a little field up here. Yeah, kind of like that. There we go. So what I want to do is all of this, high priority, high priority, high priority, and high priority. There we go. Okay. So, let's see how this works, shall we? What are you guys doing? I think you are hopefully going to plant that soon enough. I don't think we've got any emmer or einkorn or anything to actually plant. But yeah. Let's see, you also mentioned the main reason for large field blocks, mainly because in-game fields will block tiles next to it, as I can see. Okay, yes. So you can have large blocks, and then you technically lose less space, rather than having a bunch of small blocks. Okay, yeah, makes sense, makes sense. Alright, what have we got? How's our food situation? It's looking, yeah, not too good, not too good. Okay, have we got any hunting we can... Oh, what have we got? We've got hyenas. Varmek's ghost is haunting me. Because cave hyenas have been the bane of my existence. We've got adult female, adult female, adult female, old female. Oh, there are no males here. I wonder what happened to the males. Okay, bunch of young ones. So what we can do is we can try to selectively thin this herd. Or this pack, not herd, pack. Okay, let's see how many hunters. I think 4 hunters should be no. Okay, 4 hunters should be sufficient. Let's bring them across to this side. Run, little one, run into the forest. Okay, we're going hyena hunting. You can't just immediately start walking away. Okay, so we are going to take out... That's an old female. We're going to hunt 2 of the younger females, leave 1 adult female, and we're going to leave the old female, because that old female may have some memory of where to go hunting and where good getting sites are and stuff like that. So we are going to leave her. We're just going to hunt the 2 of the younger females. Alrighty. Very often what you have is that 1 female will actually have a whole bunch of cubs, and the other females don't actually breed in the hyena pack. Okay, very fascinating creatures. Oh, and their babies are so cute. If you're watching this after the stream, like probably in a week's time when I finish editing it and cutting it into smaller sections, I'll have a little photo of what a baby hyena looks like. Man, they are adorable. They are one of Nick's favorite little animals. She loves them. That and the warthog. Warthog takes top place, and then baby hyenas shortly after that. Alrighty. We're going to hopefully just take out 2 of the females. Hopefully not everybody attacks. If everybody attacks, I'm afraid we are going to have to kill this entire pack. Okay. So who have we got left? Oh. Okay, we've got 2 younger females also attacking us. The old female, maybe she's the one that's actually bred. She may be the one that's bred, because those 4 cubs and she and the 4 cubs are running away. Okay. So what we are going to do is we are going to shoot. Okay, come on. Run away this side. Okay, and hunt this one. Okay, great stuff. 3 taken down. Now, are you guys coming back? Where's the old female? The old female is over there. Okay, she may be coming back. Okay, we're just going to have to keep an eye on her. If she attacks us, we are going to have to end this pack. Oh, now they are eating our food. Well, we can't really have that now, can we? Sorry, guys. But now you are coming to steal our food. You are being typical kleptoparasis. Are you? Are you? You may be, yeah. Sorry, I'm not sure whether you guys were attacking me or not, but... okay, I want to hunt. There we go. That one there. Okay, it was a cave hyena attack. I was like, did someone die? But no, nobody died. It was just an attack. Okay. Oh, man, shame. I don't like attacking this entire pack, but they are coming to eat our food, and this is now a survival situation, I'm afraid. Okay. Come on, hyenas. Okay, we're just scaring them away. Hopefully they now stay away. If they stay away, we won't have to hunt them. Okay, one at least has gone far off. No, they're coming back. Hyenas. So, I remember when I was a kid, like, yo, hyenas are terrifying. Like, don't let anybody else tell you different. Hyenas are terrifying. They're big. They're like, think big dog size. Even though they're not a dog, they're actually more closely related to cats. But they're like big dog size. And hyenas are smart. And there have been tales, and how true that is, I don't know, but there have been tales of hyenas coming after humans, and then you chase them. You chase them off, and then they run off, and you follow them, thinking that you have won. You then chase them off, and you chase them quite a long distance, and at some point, they just turn around and they come for you. And yeah, that's when you die. I'm not sure whether there have actually been accounts of that happening, but when I was a kid, that was one of my greatest fears, because I had been told that is, in fact, what happens with hyenas, what hyenas do. So I've been wary. Like, I've had quite a few close, not encounters per se with hyenas, but I have been very close to hyenas. Like, in some parks in South Africa, for example, there aren't fences around the camps. Or at least in Southern Africa, there aren't fences around the campsites. You go camp there, and hyenas come into camp. And, you know, if you go to the bathroom at night or in the early mornings, you go find hyena tracks all over the floor there because they've actually gone into the bathroom to go drink from the toilets. Yeah, there's such a things. And one of my first memories of a hyena actually came from Zimbabwe. We were camping in Zimbabwe. This was 1998. So I was very young. I was 8 years old at that point in time. Oh, we've got megaloceros coming along this year. Oh no, these are deer. Oh, deer are new, aren't they? Deer are new. I don't think we had deer yet, unless we just were not lucky enough to actually encounter them. Anyway, so as I was saying, we had this. We were camping in Zimbabwe. I was 8 years old at that point in time, 1998, turning 9, and we had been warned. When we got to the camp, the warden said, listen, there are no fences around the camp, so the hyenas come into the campsite. Put away everything that you have. And the wind was blowing quite a bit, so the flap of the tent was actually like flapping up and down, and it was blowing into the tent. The wind was blowing into the tent. And my mother put her leather shoes, yeah, that's a mistake, but she put her leather shoes on the flap to keep it from flapping up and down. And my dad said, you know, just tie the laces of the shoes to the pole, the center pole of the tent. And she did that. And that night we woke up with the tent leaning to the side because the hyena had put his head into the tent, grabbed the leather boot, and started running off with it. And yeah, then he kind of just pulled the whole tent to its side, which was quite interesting. But that's one of my first memories of hyenas, was the hyena pulling our tent apart to get to the leather boots. Yo, that deer is a tough one. I think our doggies may be bringing him down. There we go, the bow got him. Nice. Okay, we've got some hunters. We've got more deer coming. So we took out the buck. Let's go for 2 does, I think, in total. That should be enough. There we go. That's enough hunting for us. That should be enough meat for the tribe. Brilliant. Brilliant. Alright, let me just also double check that I've got all messages showing. I don't miss any messages from you guys. Hyenas knowing the feign retreat tactic. Yeah, many empires fell for that. Indeed. Indeed. It's quite amazing. Like, they would run away and then just turn back and, yeah, you'd be screwed. As I said, I'm not 100% sure how true that is, but that was one of my great fears. Then, check that you have infinite harvesting for wheat and peas so you don't waste your harvests. Yeah, so for the wheat, definitely, I think, yeah, unlimited it seems. I think that if that's what you're referring to, I think, oh, wait, I think that is with limits, isn't it? It's with limits. Let's see, wheat here, there we go, unlimited. And I'm assuming, yeah, everything here is set to unlimited. That is marvelous. Oh, we've got a bit more food coming in. Marvelous. And then you say, also say, just checked in from the last video, deer and bear second in the XP tab are new. Maybe some other species appeared. Oh. There we go, we've got bone knives, we've got another knowledge point. Let's see, so we've got woolly rhinos still around. Woolly mammoths are still around, cave bears, bear. I think bear I did see last time, but I'm not 100% sure on that. We haven't seen deer until this evening, so that's great that we finally managed to get that. Let's see, cave lions, all of these we had encountered before. Bison I haven't seen yet, the normal bison. I've seen the ancient bison, haven't seen the normal bison. Lasmotherium I haven't seen either. Alright, and then feral horses I think will come in when we reach the Copper Age. Okay, I love the fact that we now have a whole bunch of sledges. I think we've got 5 sledges, so people are just like dragging them around all over the show to carry all the heavy stuff, the rocks, the logs, the carcasses, all those sorts of things are being carried around. Okay, so there were cave bears, but not bears, and bison is also new. Okay, so all those coming in now, and that really is great because it does show. Because we had the antique bison antiquus, eventually becoming bison. Yeah, it was bison something. The steppe bison became the longhorn bison latifrons, which became bison antiquus, which became bison, the modern day American bison. Yeah, so the whole lineage there. And I love the fact that I think the ancient bison will go extinct at some point, and only the bison will remain behind. Also, this is the last age for some animals like mammoths and woolly rhinos, maybe some cave animals, etc. I think the cave ahinas will also disappear after this age. Yes, so we are going to have to potentially still do another mammoth hunt. Well. No, we're not going to hunt these ones. These are the last remnants of the previous hunt. We're not going to hunt this adult female, this old female, and this calf. We're not going to hunt them. They survived our last attack on the mammoths. We're going to leave this herd alone. Not going to hunt them. I refuse to hunt them. I was about to say we can go on another mammoth hunt. This is the last chance for that. But I'm not going to hunt that herd. There is a boar we can hunt here. A solitary boar. Yeah, it's a solitary one. We can go after it. I think... I think... 3 hunters. I think I want 3 hunters. There we go. 3 hunters. Come after this boar for me, please. Maybe you'll get a doggy to come along as well. A doggy or 2. There we go. There's a doggy. 2 doggies coming along. Great stuff. Dog domestication. I don't think we've got any cats we can domesticate. Cats kind of domesticated themselves. Dogs we may have actually actively domesticated, but cats just kind of appeared and hung around because they enjoyed, hunting the mice, especially when this happened, when we started cultivating crops and storing the crops. Oh, can we perhaps build storage haystack? That's for straw. Oh, we can't. A storage hut we need thatching for. Okay, we'll get that in a moment. And the granary we need thatching for. Okay, we're going to have that momentarily. But anyway, so when we started domesticating grains and we started cultivating grains, and then we started storing the grains, obviously rodents love eating it. So the rodents started hanging around where we were, hanging around our settlements, eating our food. And the cats just kind of came along and started eating the rodents. But the weird thing is that obviously we as humans then went and we petted the cats and tried to domesticate them to some extent. They kind of did, as I mentioned, domesticate themselves in the process. But what also happened is they developed a tolerance for... Oh, there we go, great stuff. They developed a tolerance for more vegetable matter as we domesticated them. Modern day cats, our house cats, can actually tolerate a bit of vegetable matter, plant matter. And they can tolerate it better than the wild cats can, and than the ancestors of the house cats most likely could, which is really quite cool. So no friendly cats in this game. Pooh. Would have loved to have a nice little house cat in this game, but not to be. Right, let's see. We need thatching. I think this is going to be the next thing we do need, so let's grab thatching then, shall we? Here we go. Because it is required for so many things, including cheese making and all those types of things. So, what do we need? We now need a nice granary, I think. So we are going to put the granary here where we are growing our crops. Let's just put it over here. And you know what? We are also going to put a haystack over here. There we go. Because the haystack is where we are going to store some hay. Marvelous. Okay, so we are in spring. I'm wondering whether the seeds have actually been planted. They should be growing. I guess as we get into summer. Oh, I see. We've got very low workload. Ah. Okay, so we are going to... Oh. Okay, we could have collected tannins there, but I don't think we did. Okay. We could have... so, tannins we can get from oak trees. And of course, that's the acorns we grab that from. But then we also have tannins here in the fir. And I think the tannins in here would be from collecting possibly the cones, but more likely the leaves. I'm not sure where the tannins are found. Most likely in the leaves, because tannins is actually an anti-herbivory tactic. You find it in a lot of plants. I almost said a lot of animals. You find it in a lot of plants that don't want to be eaten by herbivores. The shrubby, woody plants. They produce tannins. And they produce it and they put it in their leaves. And they can do that relatively quickly. The tannins do degrade over time in UV radiation. And just over time it does deteriorate. But the plant can very quickly produce the tannins and then just replenish it in their leaves. So if an antelope, for example, were to feed on an acacia, it can very quickly produce tannins and take it to its leaves. So now we're heading into summer, I think. What can we harvest? Chestnuts are, that's in fall, right? Yeah, that we can harvest in fall. Oh, this we can harvest. We can collect berries over there. We can einkorn, that's in fall. Yeah, all of these grains are in fall. Lentils, I think we can harvest now. I think there are quite a few things we can harvest. Oh, bitter vetch we can harvest. May as well say that. And strawberries we can also harvest. Yeah, strawberries, there we go. Okay, so tannins, that's what I was like, what on earth am I talking about? Tannins. So, tannins we can, oh, you say we can upgrade our, oh, we can upgrade to a hut. Oh, okay, okay. Well, well. That is great. So we can now finally have huts. That is going to increase our prestige, isn't it? So let's upgrade some of the main tents over here. Yeah, put some extra workload, add some extra workload here. I don't think we've got everything we need in order to upgrade it, but you know, it's going to be upgraded. Thank you so much for that notification there. Oh, storage hut. Yep, may as well go for that as well. Let's just say upgrade everything, shall we? I don't think these things cannot be upgraded. That is perfectly fine. Alright, so tannins. Why do plants have tannins? Now, that is the question. So what tannins do is tannins bind to proteins. And it kind of locks it up. And if you're looking at digestion, you know, enzymes are proteins. So if you are an animal that is eating on or feeding on tannin-rich plants, those tannins bind to the enzymes in your stomach, making them inactive. And you don't break down your food the way you should, which is not great. So you may actually die of starvation even though you've got a full belly. It's a very effective anti-herbivory strategy. So it's very commonly found in lots of different plants. Of course, some will have more tannins than others. And if you're looking at tea, for example, rich in tannins, very rich in tannins, doesn't affect us really because, you know, we don't eat so much or get so many tannins in that it affects our digestive system. Red wine also has tannins and we're still fine. We are still perfectly fine. Let's see. Granary is new, but warehouse can be upgraded, but you will need lots of mud now. So probably set some harvest area and set limit to 10 mud. Ah, thanks for that. So let's work area, mud. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have a nice work area over here. That will take in 3 over there. No, that's tannins. I don't want tannins. I want mud. That one is already selected. I think. This one is selected, so this one, and that one. Right. And yeah, mud is 10 units maximum. Perfect. I'm going to put 2 people on mud duty. And 2 people on mud duty, because we do need lots of mud quite quickly now. Workload, 153%, that is perfectly fine. That is 100%. 153%, 156% to be precise, but it is 100%. Let's say hello there, person 137856. 6492. Hello there. No knowledge of ecology, but from South Africa. Welcome to a fellow South African. Great to have you with us in this stream tonight as well. And I know you are also tonight because South Africa, we have got night at the moment. And I hope you are staying warm because, goodness me, I'm not sure where you are in the country, but at least here in the southern part, as you can see, it's nice and cold. And I think the majority of South Africa at the moment is experiencing a very, very nice cold snap here. Let's see here. I see Fireduck, you also mentioned talking about tannins. Made you remember 5+ years ago when there was a severe drought in South Africa. Buffalo started eating tannin-filled leaves, but some of the Uma lion pride's cubs died. Interesting. So yeah, the buffalo wouldn't eat too many of it because grasses actually don't really contain tannins. It is what you find. Oh, you do find. There we go. Let me just quickly collect the fruit over here, since I do remember the pear tree has got fruit, and I think the service tree has got fruit. Yeah, may as well just individually select these, come and harvest, and these ones also. These come and harvest the berries over here. So mostly you find with grasses, they've got silica in the leaves, which is a hard crystalline substance that grinds down the teeth of the herbivores. But the shrubs, well, they will contain tannins, which will affect the digestive system of the herbivores. And then, yeah, a lot of predators. Look, severe droughts can be a blessing or a curse for predators, because in severe droughts, a lot of animals are dying. But very often also the weaker individuals die. Water shortage will also affect predators, so that's not great. But if you're looking at, for example, the death of animals, and the weak ones die, they already are emaciated, there's not a lot of meat on the ones that die. Yes, there's a lot of things to eat, but not a lot of proper food to eat. So I can imagine that milk production wouldn't have been great with those lions, and the cubs most likely then would have suffered as a result. Let's see, the only bad upkeep resource is stone for top tier storage and some buildings, but tier 3 houses don't need stone because stone is quite limited in this game. Aha. I'm going to probably not over harvest stones. It's actually quite strange because, I mean, there are stones everywhere over here, but I know we can't harvest these. Alrighty. Let's see. Warning: while upgrading buildings are not usable, so probably do them one at a time. Yeah, maybe a little bit too late for that. Let's see. Maybe we can cancel that task and cancel that task. Cancel this task. Let's cancel some of the tasks. Okay, there we go. So we've got some of the things being upgraded, not all of them being upgraded. We need mud for the granary, and then the granary can be built. Okay. Oh, okay. I see, person. You are in Berlin at the moment, so you have escaped the severe cold. You are experiencing the northern summer. Oh, that's marvelous. I am dreaming of summer. I can't wait for the longer days of summer. We officially are heading into longer days now because we have passed the 21st of June. We are now officially in winter and we can feel it. But as a result, the days are now getting longer. Sun rising slightly earlier in the morning and setting slightly later in the evening. So currently it is dark outside, and I mean it has been dark from around 6 o'clock, 6:15. It has been dark outside, and then a month and a half from now it will still be light out this time, and most likely will be, well, middle of summer. It is light out 7:30 till dusk, and you can still go do stuff, which is really amazing. All right, we've got 4 more hunters. I think we've got we've got a wild donkey and an ibex over here. So we're just going to come and hunt these little critters over here. Of course, we've got an ibex male here. We've got a ram, and with the ibex, of course, the horns here, very, very useful for intraspecific competition, where males are headbutting against one another to determine who is the top, almost said dog, the top goat in the area. And then, you know, the top one gets control or gets the access to the females in the area. They get to reproduce. It really is amazing that sexual selection has selected these amazing horns on the ibexes. Or ibises? Ibexes, not sure what the plural is, but in an ibex, in the ibex species, where the females like going for the males with the big horns, and because those males with the big horns, they get to reproduce, their genes are passed on, so their male offspring most likely will also have big horns, and over time it just selects for these extravagant head adornments. Of course, there is a point where it just becomes too extravagant and the animals suffer rather than actually benefiting from having it. Oh, I had paused the game. Whoopsie daisy. So there is a point where you get this diminishing returns on having big horns, and it actually becomes more of a hassle. Megaloceros, for example, may have been a good example of that, where the Irish elk, they have these big antlers, and it is possible that they could actually have... Where are you going? You're just wandering around. Hopefully you're going to go drink, so we can actually hunt you. Come on. But the Megaloceros, it would have made it more difficult to move through densely wooded areas, which isn't great, you know. Okay, I think you guys can now stop. I think it's dead. It's already dead. Here we go. Yeah, great stuff. Okay, hunters, though, we do have a wild ass up here as well. Where is that? Where's the wild donkey? There's the wild donkey. May as well go and hunt this one as well. The coloration here really is reminiscent of the Somali wild ass, which is one of the wild donkeys we still have left in the world. Highly endangered, almost extinct. And yeah, really amazing with the typical greyish color and the zebra stripes on the hindquarters there. Such a beautiful animal. Alright. Let's see, you guys are hunting. Yeah, you slowly but surely making your way there. Not worth it. No, stop hunting it. It's just going to wander off and you're just going to do nothing over there. Let's see. Firedaki also mentioned, if you remember correctly, the cubs stopped being able to walk. Sands people autopsied the cubs to make sure they weren't poisoned and said it was white muscle disease. Oh, I'm actually not familiar with white muscle disease. Obviously, I assume it means the muscles go a lighter color. Now, a whiter color muscle, to me, that would indicate maybe like anemia, which may be an iron deficiency, which maybe is due to a shortage of food. I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to look it up. If you're watching this afterwards, I will have a comment in the video saying what causes white muscle disease or what drove it. I see Paleo Potato also here. Hello there. Welcome. I hope you are having a wonderful weekend. I see you saying you're working your way through the new update in Monster Hunter Wilds. Oh, lovely. I didn't know Wilds had a new update. That is great. What did they bring in? Or what did they change? New content. That sounds lovely. Wilds is still something I will eventually get for myself. I just cannot fork out 1,400 Rand at the moment to buy one game. So I will wait for a little bit later on. Let's see. I see person you also mentioned any Sim Safari or similar game streams coming up. Call you Peter. Okay, hello Peter. I will hopefully remember to call you Peter in future as well. If I forget, please do remind me, because I am horrible with names. If my name wasn't in my ID document, I would most likely also have forgotten it a long time ago already. Right, so let's see. Hello there, Skeet. Welcome to the stream as well. Yes, indeed, Dawn of Man. It is absolutely lovely. So regarding Peter, regarding the Sim Safari, I most likely will revisit Sim Safari again. Unfortunately, my previous stream, half the time there wasn't actually sound from the game, which I don't know how I missed that, because I had something switched around or didn't work properly. I thought there would be sound. There wasn't sound. I could hear the sound in my earphones, not in the actual stream. But I definitely will revisit it again at some point, because it was so much fun to also play it back in the day. And yeah, so can't guarantee when it will happen, but it most likely will happen. There we go. We've got our first granary as well, and the person here is very unhappy. I don't know why. You are generally well fed. You are moderately well rested, more rested than I am at the moment, at least. So you have no reason to be upset. All right, granary. Okay. Let's see. What can we build to get? We can get huts. Okay, that will help us get more knowledge points. Storage huts. Granary. We need to build 3 more granaries. Okay, and that will also give us more knowledge points. Okay, and these huts here are slowly but surely being built. We currently have capacity for 30 people, and we've got 33 people. Okay, but at least the hut is finally being built. Now, the huts here really would be an amazing step up from these tents. Look, these tents would be amazing. It's definitely a step up from sleeping out under nothing, and potentially even sleeping in a cave, because cave systems can actually get anoxic or oxygen poor. You don't want that. That's not great. So having a hut like this, more ventilation, or a little tent like this, more ventilation, it keeps you sheltered from the worst of the elements, but it is still not great. A hut, though, Especially one... Oh, wait a minute. Are you guys weaving the sticks together? Are you going to fill it with mud now? Or plaster it with mud? I would love to see how they do this. I'm going to check as I build this. Because this is very reminiscent to me, at least, of how some huts were built in South Africa. Where what you actually had was, you had not a single frame like this. You actually had two frames. You had big poles, and then you had sticks between them. And then in between those sticks, you actually would pack the mud. And that then gets trapped between these sticks that you put between the big poles. So you'd have poles, and then you'd have basically have walls of sticks, and inside you would put mud there. And it would be nicely formed there, and that keeps out the elements. This is a much more permanent structure than this. The tents here would be great if you were more nomadic, and you can actually then pack it up and carry the most important or the most valuable things around to build it, sit up again. But this is a much more permanent setup. It's absolutely marvelous. I think I just heard some kind of deer or antelope calling. It may have been. It sounded like elk, but I don't think it's elk. I thought maybe it's Irish elk, but no, I don't know. Pretty sure I heard an animal bleating somewhere in the distance. Not sure. What have we got here? I think these are the two remainers of that hyena pack that we had taken out previously, or mostly taken out. Let's see. Also, see, Firedark, you mentioned you posted a Nat Geo article about it in the Discord. Oh, great! I'm definitely going to have a read through that then after the live stream. That is marvelous. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Thanks for sharing there as well. Oh, look, I did hear something. Look, there's a deer running through our camp, and there's another deer running through our camp. Oh dear. I've been waiting all evening to say that. Oh dear. Okay, you guys hunt the deer for us, please. The deer is running, and the deer is hopefully going to die. There we go. It is dead. Where is the other deer? There's a deer. Now, if they want to run through our camp, then there we go. Meat is back on the menus. Back on the menu. There we go. And I see, Belly Potato, you mentioning they've added Lagiacrus and Sagios, as well as a bunch of summer-related stuff. Also, Arch-Tempered Raydao and Duna. Oh, that's great. So nice bunch of new content there. That is marvelous. Oh, look at this. All right. So what we've got here with the hut, you can see there the frame still, and then it seems like they have plastered around the frame here. So a little bit different from how some of the huts in South Africa would be built, where you would have the sticks on the outside and then mud inside, be kept in the frame there. Here it is kind of slapped onto the sticks and then sticks to it, and that forms a nice little shelter. Okay, so it keeps out the wind. This is much warmer than these boring old tents that we used to live in. So it's really a massive step up. Okay, also picked up Railroad Tycoon 3 in the Steam sales. Game almost as old as I am. Railroad Tycoon 3. Oh, I played Railroad Empire back in the day, but that was also like 15, 16, 17 years ago, a long, long time ago. Oh, there's another deer. Have we got any other hunt? Yeah, we've got hunters. We've got hunters. You know, whoa, there are so many deers here. Okay, you guys shoot here. Yeah, you guys shoot here. You guys shoot that one. Oh, there's another one over here. This is like a massacre. Okay, guys. Yeah, we're hunting the deer. Any other deer that want to run through here? No? Okay, I think these are the... Oh, there are 4. No, there are 3. Okay, there's one there, and one there. Wow. Okay, you know. Interesting. It's like a real massacre. I think they're all dead. Okay, so. Doesn't sound very ecological of me now, does it? I did slaughter the whole herd that came through here. But this is now to last us quite a while. It does mean that we don't have to go out to other areas to actually go and hunt. And you know, this reminds me very much of something that happened in South Africa, which was called the trekbokken, which basically means migrating antelope or migrating goats. Book could be goats or could be antelope. Let's just see what the trader here has. Oh, flax domestication. Well. And it's only average commission. We can buy linen as well. Great stuff and cheese and stuff, but I want flax domestication. That is what I want. So let's see, we're going to sell a whole bunch of clothes because, let's be honest, we're going to get a whole bunch of dried skin coming in now. So we can also sell some bows here. We've got enough, and we can easily make. Bone spear we can also... Oh, that's really like... let's take a... let me just even it out a bit. Okay, we need 2 more. What can we give? What? Not stone, not stone. Not that. I think that. And if all else fails, let's buy cheese. There we go. We have a cheese now. And we got flax domestication. Oh, that is marvelous. This means we will now be able to make flax. Or plant flax. Yes, indeed. There we go. Flax domestication. So we'll be able to plant flax. And we're going to do that next season. Next year we are going to do that. And when we have that, we'll be able to make clothes. Which is marvelous. Lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Okay, we have a new milestone. Neo Farmer. The new farmer. Ah, great stuff. Okay. Johan Darky also mentioning the huts also signify more settled lifestyle. Indeed, since you can hardly take those materials with you on migration. Yes, indeed. So you build it once you have your agriculture set up in essence. You go, okay, we've got everything set up we need. We're going to do this now. You know what? Our bunch of people here, our tribe is actually growing. So what we are going to do is we are going to... Because I think this one is... Yeah, that's full. That is almost full. That is full. So we do need more dryers. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to build 2 more food dryers, and we're going to build that over here. Okay, we're not going to build too close to the riverbank here. We're not going to get into the riparian zone here. I can't wait for us to actually plant trees, because I'm going to plant a whole bunch of trees along the riparian zone here to stabilize the riverbank here. But that will probably be next week. Alright, let's see here. Also, Potato mentioning it's very wattle and daub, which was used... Very wattle and daub, which was used by Europeans. Oh, was covered in a coat of lime on the outside as well. Okay, yes. So, that lighter color we see there is most likely lime that was used to coat it. There we go. A whiter coloration there. White walls will reflect a lot of sunlight, so it makes it cooler in summer. May not necessarily want that in winter, but yeah, that is a nice coloring that you can see there as well. So, wattle and daub. So, wattle then being the sticks and the daub, I guess, being the mud. Oh, that's very familiar. Anyway, let's see. Fields are in growing stage. If you want to look closer on them, yes, let's have a look here. I've paused the game. Let's unpause. There we go. We've got emmer growing quite nicely here. Oh, there we go. Thanks. We can have a good look at them a little bit more closely. Yes. Okay. So let's see. The emmer looks like this. I just want to quickly see whether our einkorn looks slightly different. Slightly, yes. Okay, but one can actually see a little bit better with our emmer over here, what I was talking about with the spikelets. So let's have a look here. So when we're talking about grasses, right, we have this section. Let me just look for a single one that's a little bit easier to explain. There we go. Okay, we've got this thing up here, which are a whole bunch of kernels. Okay, and those that thing we see there is actually, this is not a seed yet. These are flowers. Okay, so this is a whole inflorescence, a whole cluster of flowers together. And in each one of these little bumps we see there is what we call a spikelet. A spikelet is an individual flower of grasses. Okay, and in the wild ancestors to modern wheat, in einkorn and I believe in emmer as well, there was one flower, or one seed that can be formed per flower, per spikelet. So each of these little bumps would only have one seed developing in it. Alright, and as mentioned, in the wild emmer and wild einkorn, these seeds, when they are ripe, would actually fall off the central stalk here, and they would be scattered all over the place, giving them a good chance of germination, less competition because they're a little bit more widely spaced out. Whereas if they remain on here, they're easier to harvest for us as humans, but they wouldn't survive in the wild because the moment everything, or they would only fall to the ground when this whole stalk dies, and then all the seeds germinate in close proximity to one another, and most of those seedlings are going to die, and the genes would be lost again from the system. Alright, what we also see sticking out here these little stalks that you see sticking out of those seeds, we call those awns. A-W-N. That's an awn. And those awns are very important because it actually helps the seed bury itself. So it's got a function. In nature, everything that you see has a function. And those awns there, what happens is as there is a lot of moisture, high humidity. Oh, we've got our first hut officially being built. Great stuff. That means this one is currently being built, and then we'll build that one after that. Right. So when there's high humidity, what happens is that awn actually kind of twists a little bit, and it actually starts digging into the ground. Then as the humidity goes down, it kind of straightens out or relaxes again, but it doesn't get pulled out of the soil because it's got a whole bunch of, I think, silica crystals to some extent, little hairs in essence, keeping it in the ground. And then when at night it is more humid again, it kind of digs into the soil again, and during the daytime it kind of just relaxes. Nighttime it digs in, and over time that seed with that awn is dug up to about an inch, 2.5 centimeters into the ground. And that is the exact correct depth for that seed to germinate perfectly. So the seeds actually would sow themselves with that awn that is attached to it. And that is just, that's just amazing. That is just amazing. They're not the only plants that do that. There are a whole bunch of grasses that do this. We in South Africa have got red grass. If you are from Australia, you may know it as kangaroo grass. If you played some safari, it's a red oat grass. That's Thermida triandra. Very useful grazing grass for areas where you have animals grazing. But that grass also will kind of dig into the soil and plant itself. And some other plants in the stalkbull family, for example, in the geranium, the pelargonium family, they will also kind of plant themselves, because when the seed is ripe, it actually twists off the main stalk and then can either blow around a little bit or dig into the soil a bit. Yeah, a whole bunch of stuff that can happen. Absolutely amazing. Yeah, we tend not to think about these things, but I just think it's absolutely amazing. Alrighty. Now, what have we got? You guys are busy building that. That is great. That's really, really great. We've got a lot of raw meat, a lot of cured meat, some raw fish, a lot of dry fish. We've got some berries, fruit and pulses, one cheese still left. Lots of bow, lots of skins. Alright, some fishing tools. I love being able to see everything up here. My word, food has shot up. But of course, we are 33 people now. So the problem is that when winter rolls around, well, we are potentially going to have some problems with food shortages. So we are going to really have to hope that the plants here, at least these grains, grow very nicely. Okay, it doesn't seem like our lentils were actually planted, so I'm afraid we missed out on that most likely. That's fine, that's fine. We'll get that next season. Okay, soon we'll also be able... Oh, wait a minute. Can we harvest flax yet? No, that's also fall. Okay, so that's also in autumn. We can harvest the flax over here. Currently, what it is doing, it is getting ready to flower. It is flowering. Linseed, or flax as it's called. They would be flowering, produce these nice bluish purplish flowers. And then when they are pollinated, they form all these little seeds, which we can then use in cooking, or you can use to make linseed oil with, to either varnish furniture or to do oil painting. I use linseed oil quite a lot when I do paint. Hasn't been in ages, but when I do oil paintings, linseed oil is what I will also use. But flax, the flax seeds, although you can eat it, you also shouldn't eat too much of it, because it is to some extent at least a little bit poisonous. So edible, but in smaller amounts would be best. You don't want to eat too much thereof. Alright, now interesting thing is happening around our settlement here. We are selectively thinning trees. We are chopping out trees that are of less use to us. So oak trees we are keeping around because we can get tannins from them. And we are keeping service trees around because we can get berries from them. The fir tree we are keeping around because we can get tannins from them. Pine trees we don't need, so we are going to chop them down. Slowly but surely we are chopping down some trees and keeping other trees. And it's very likely that this is what also happened around settlements. And it's something you would see around these Stone Age settlements, but also later on as well. Keeping the more useful trees close to you and not chopping them out, or if you do chop them out, replanting some, but getting rid of the more useless ones, the ones that you would only be using for timber and not actually be getting food from. And you have this shift in species in the forest over here, as we're going from a mixed woodland to one that is dominated by some more useful species. Beech trees here are going to start disappearing, most likely from our forest here as we chop them down. Pine trees will start disappearing. Birch trees will start disappearing or becoming a little bit rarer. The chestnuts, the oaks, the fir trees here, the service berries, all those trees will in relative abundance become more abundant because they are not chopped out by our tribe. Okay, I have officially put a ban on chopping out any of those trees. You do not chop out useful trees. I see Hears, you also here. Hello there, Hears. Welcome to the stream. Sorry guys, I did miss a message or two there because for some reason it didn't show that you guys have chatted there. So hello there, welcome to the stream. Glad to have you with us. And it's actually Themida trihandra for the win, indeed. Themida trihandra is a lovely grass. If you have that growing in on your reserve or your farm or wherever you are, it is great stuff. Let's see, lentils will be planted in winter. Okay. Oh, of course. Lentils are planted in winter. So too the peas will be planted in winter. Interesting, lentils being planted in winter because I typically know them as a spring species. I would have expected them to be planted in spring, but makes sense that you would plant them in winter here. But you would most likely plant it as you start getting to the end of winter and the ground starts thawing. You don't want to plant it in the middle of winter when it is cold and maybe they come up and they get knocked by that cold snap there. But yeah, absolutely lovely. I love the diversity of plants you can actually cultivate here, and I'm really looking forward to this fruit tree domestication. But before we get that, you know what? I think it is time for us to start looking at goat domestication, or start looking at animal husbandry. And this now is the question. Where is a goat to domesticate? There's a reindeer. We can't domesticate that. Looking for, I'm guessing you can get the young goats. Oh, we've got another cave bear over there. Oh, that one is in very bad condition. If you got something to hunt with, you've got a knife. Oh, that a knife? This is a knife. Go take out that bear with a knife, or not to go take out that bear with a knife. Look, Akin is old. Akin has had a good life. Akin is going after a cave bear. Okay, Akin, run. You need to get there as quickly as possible. We don't want you too winded, but we do want you to actually get there before the bear dies of natural causes. We want you to be the one to take out the bear. This bear is in very bad shape. So we may be actually doing it a favor, taking her out. Shame. Most likely had some kind of kerfuffle with some other carnivore, possibly another cave bear, probably the cave lions. So yeah, shame. She is not doing too well. Oh, it's a young female. It's not even an old female. I thought it was an old female. This is a young female, probably one that dispersed away from her natal area or where she was born. And now she is, now she is going to encounter Akin. Akin, come on. Any moment now. Oh, look at that. Disease is affecting a crop. The einkorn is being affected by a disease. Well, now. Oh, there's the einkorn. There we go. Some of it is harvestable, I think, and the rest, I think, is actually affected by the disease. Oh, they are ripe and the other ones are not ripe yet. But these ones will now be harvested. The emmer are healthy. And you see, this is why it's useful to have not just one cereal planted, but 2 cereals at least. So that if the one gets disease, the other one can still survive. That's the idea of polyculture rather than a monoculture. So having multiple plants planted rather than just one. Okay, this cave bear is being tracked by Akin. Akin is moving very slowly because Akin is tired. Oh, Akin, are you going to get to the cave bear before she dies of natural causes? No, I don't think so. Akin would have been great to have. Would have been great if Akin actually had a spear or something to throw. Instead, she's just got a knife. Alright. I see Hani also mentioned tip for animal husbandry. They freeze in winter, so you need few things for them. The stables, I believe, would be important. You need to build animal house for them and have enough straw or wheat and water. That must be delivered by villagers to them. During long winter seasons, they are okay. Okay. Also, you want approximately 20 members of each species. Wow. To have safe reproduction without need to domesticate new ones from time to time. Okay, yeah, Akin has decided, stuff it, she's not going after the cave bear. She is going home. Okay, Akin, you've lived a good life. You do you. You've got the right to go do that. Fine. Akin is not keen on hunting a bear with a knife. She did not want to go down in history as an absolute legend. No. Let's see. Oh, we need straw. There we go. We're probably going to get a bit of straw with the harvesting that is happening here. I suspect we will get that. That'll be great. Let's just speed up a little bit. Everybody coming to harvest now. Workload again is a little bit lower. That is absolutely marvelous. It means people can actually come and harvest stuff quite nicely. There we go. Okay, so Marna over here has harvested straw and grain for us. That is great stuff. Okay, so that means our hut will most likely be built soon enough. Hopefully before winter actually rolls around. Since we are in fall now, we may as... we need weaving first before we can harvest flax. Where do we get weaving? Is that here? No, where's weaving? Oh, there we go, there's weaving. Okay, we need weaving. We haven't got enough knowledge points yet for that. Okay, so we can't harvest the flax yet. Kind of sad, but that's alright. That is alright. Are you harvesting? Oh, yeah, you are. I just paused you. Okay, so Gorna over here is also harvesting. I'm assuming that there would be some straw that we can get, but most likely not a lot of grain from the einkorn here that are diseased. Okay, be interesting to see. There we go. Oh, you did get grain. Oh, that's cool. Cool beans. Okay, I'm looking forward to seeing how we do now in terms of grain and bread and those types of things. You guys, what do we need? We need 4 straw in order to actually build the storage hut. That shouldn't be a problem. We should now get more than enough straw. Oh, in fact, we already have 9 straw. So let's just put this as high priority. So people can bring the straw and then build the hut. 2 more straw needed. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to just drink some coffee while I'm waiting for them to come and build this. Okay, so most likely what our tribe will now settle into is another rhythm. Because in winter, there are very few things that we can harvest from the surrounding area. Very few fruit we can harvest. Oh, we can harvest chestnuts. That's a bee tree. There the chestnut is. Yeah, just collect nuts, please, someone. I think there's a service tree. We don't have more chestnuts here. I think chestnuts. There were some to this side. That's more beech trees. That's an oak tree. I think there we go. There are chestnuts over here. Might as well come and harvest those nuts there for nice roasting over the fire. There we go. Go and collect some chestnuts. All right. So yeah, anyway, as I was saying, there were very few things for us to harvest in winter in this area around our settlement. And we can't grow most crops. Most crops won't grow during winter. So in winter, what we are most likely going to do is go and hunt. And we're going to get a lot of meat, bring that back to base, and then when spring rolls around again, we are going to have a bit more grain growing, agriculture. So we're going to go through this rhythm of more carnivorous, more herbivorous, more carnivorous, more herbivorous, until at least we have the animal husbandry properly set up as well. Right. There we go. Another hut done, which means we can now upgrade another one. First storage hut also done. Marvelous. Ah, yes. I love the fact... Oh, there we go. Look at the haystack. Lots of hay being stored there. I believe that haystack has that central pole there, so it's easy to stack all the hay around it. That is brilliant. I love taking our little village and seeing how it changes from being tents or dominated by tents to one dominated by huts and stuff like that. Oh, that is marvelous. Okay, so they're taking this, dismantling it, and they are hopefully then going to bring everything we need to upgrade it to a hut. I think we should have everything. Mud, yeah, we've got enough mud. We've got 8 mud. Yeah, we technically have enough mud for 2 huts. I think we've got enough everything for 2 huts, actually. Yeah, but we're not going to do anything more now because we're just waiting for this hut to first be broken down so that we've got enough place for our people, more or less enough place for our people to live. Okay, now, while we are hopefully collecting... Oh, Emil! Emil, where is Emil? Emil... Emil has just died. Where is Emil? Emil is dead. Oh, it's nice. People are dying of old age. Rather than, you know, misfortune during hunts. I honestly don't know where Emil is. Emil is just kind of... She's just dropped somewhere. Is it in the tent? I think Emil... Well, yeah, Emil died in the tent. No, that's Keg. Keg is resting. I suspect Emil was here somewhere. But Emil is now dead, and we can't carry her body off, can we? No. Emil has gone to the nice big tent in the sky. Alright. Same. Another one bites the dust. I've had a few of the villagers dying of old age. Yeah, it's fine. This happens. Now at least we have got enough space for everybody. We can... you don't have to stress about that. Alrighty, let's see. Since you hunt for all those seasonal plants, maybe set few gathering areas to not miss them. Oh yes, they're also a nice source of tech points, up to 1,000 units gathered per food type. Oh yes, that is very important. Let's have a look here. Extract water, that's fine. What I'm going to do is just harvest wild plants. I like setting quite large areas. Yeah. I think I'm going to place one there. I'm going to place one here. And I like harvesting in this general area as well. There we go. Hopefully that will help. Hopefully that will also help. Okay. Most of our fields have in fact been harvested. There are some einkorn over here that have not been harvested, but I think these ones are diseased. Yeah, there we go. This plant is affected by disease and can not be harvested. Okay, so we're just going to remove... Okay, so that is delete... Oh, wait. Einkorn there. This one is not affected by disease. This one is... Oh, it was. Okay, it was. The entire plant that was, in fact, affected by disease. There we go. Where are you going? You're recovering morale. Okay. What are you carrying? Flour. Okay, so you brought the flour to the totem for some morale. Oh yes, I did build some two totems over here as well. I just thought, you know what, it is quite nice to have that close to the burial mounds over here. Yeah, I thought that would be quite good. Now, what have we got? Oh, you're carrying a whole log here to the fire. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, go burn some wood there. We've got enough logs, I think 17 logs at the moment. Oh, another hut built. So let's build another one, shall we? So the nice thing, the huts here do have more place for people to live than the storage tents. Okay, because now we've got a capacity for 36 people. Okay, so that is due to the huts over here. 1, 2, 3, 4 people per hut, 3 people per tent. Okay. When we have built this hut, we can, when we have constructed a hut here, we can actually break down 2 tents at a time. Oh, don't delete. Oh, it deletes the whole field. The disease plants are automatically removed at the end of the season. Oh, okay. So what have we got? We had einkorn over here. Oh, it's alright. We'll just have less einkorn next time. Alrighty. I guess at some point we've got to worry about being attacked by the other rival tribes. I'm not sure, is that now or is that during the Copper Age where we need to be able to defend ourselves? Because I think when do we start getting fortifications? Here. So in the Neolithic we can start getting fortifications. So palisades, gates, stuff like that. So the question is, are we going to be attacked now or only once we did that? Other natives arrive at the Copper Age. Okay, so we've still got time until then to actually prepare. Okay, to get walls up and all those types of things. And we'll do that later. For now, we're just going to be this nice little open settlement. Greater repair, full palisade wall during the Neolithic. Yes, so before we get to the Copper Age, I will have a full palisade set up. So I'm thinking in terms of the future live streams, obviously we are doing Dawn of Man at the moment. And we are going to have, once we have, so we're on stream 4 at the moment, we're going to, I think, do 2 more streams. And I think by that time we will have reached the Copper Age. Or we stream until we reach the Copper Age, so maybe only next week still. Once we have reached the Copper Age, we are first going to take a break from Dawn of Man and actually play Polylithic, which is also kind of set in this era, but is a little bit different. Also has different environments to look at. So we're talking about the ecology in those areas in that game. And then once we have done a bit of that, we then play the rest of this, I think. And then when we finish with the Iron Age in Dawn of Man, we then will play Banished, which is also a very nice city builder and does things a little bit differently. Same, but very different as well. So then we will be playing that. There, for example, we have nobody that can attack us. It's just focused on building our city and getting to survive winters and harsh conditions. That's going to be the main focus there. And of course, doing it as in an ecological way as possible. And once we have finished Banished, I think I'll probably then play Wandering Village, which is a little bit different. Maybe I'll play Wandering Village, or maybe we'll play one of the later set games. We'll see how that goes. Okay, so let's see. Johan, you mentioned, in fact, Neolithic is probably the most plan-heavy age in this game, where you normally plan the rest of your settlement, and later you just upgrade buildings and equipment with new tech. Okay, so this is the point where things really start happening, eh? Great to know. What's happening with our food? Our food supply? Oh, we've got lots of bread. Okay, that's what's happening, because I was like, our food supply is actually quite high, but our meat supply is surprisingly low. We need to go hunting soon. I think we've harvested all the animals that were here. We've got a wild donkey over there. And we've got a young reindeer, young female over there. The young Kevahina is still alive. I'm surprised by that. I'm happy to see that. And then let's see, we've got Megaloceros over here. So Irish elk. We haven't hunted Irish elk yet. Oh, shame, there's another bear that's also doing very poorly. One bear that is doing alright. Okay, so we can probably do a bit of a hunt to this side. Now, the Megaloceros I have not been able to hunt because, I mean, look at that, 250 health. They are quite big, quite bulky. So we are going to have quite a few hunters. Yeah, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hunters should be able to take it down. So let's, I guess, take down this Megaloceros. And then hopefully the doggos will come along as well and help in the hunt. Come on, any doggies? There we go. There's 1, 2 doggies, 3 doggies wanted to come along for the nice hunt there. Great stuff. And now our our tribe goes to go hunt. Alright, so there we go. These guys are being planted. The lentils, everything growing in winter will now be planted. You know what we also need, I think. We've got lentils, we've got lentils, we've got bitter veg. We don't have peas. There's chickpeas. Yeah, and normal peas. Let's see, can we just place a field of, what was this? This was peas, okay, and then we also plant a field of chickpeas. We'll plant the field of chickpeas just over here. just because we can. It's way out of the distance, way out of the way for anybody. But you know what we're also going to do is put a granary over here. Because that will also, you know, I think we've got everything we need to build that. So we may as well. Now, how are our hunters going? Where are they? Yeah, they're very slowly moving for the hunt. Yeah, it is winter. I was just about to say they're probably going to reach the Megaloceros at the end of winter. It is now the start of winter. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. So Johan, you also mentioned that the Wandering Village is also your to-do list, but waiting until they finish all updates and DLCs. Oh, yes. It's actually been on my to-do list for a while now. For a very, very long time. I've mucked around a bit in it, which has been fun. It has been fun to look at it. But yeah, I love the fact that they're still bringing some updates as well. I'm actually quite... A lot of the games I play are either in early access or I played it while it was in early access. Grounded I played while it was in early access, and oh my word, I'm looking forward to Grounded 2, for, even though it is also coming out into early access. So looking forward to that. So that is end of this month. Oh, so soon, so soon. We are going to get a game pass for Nick, just so that she can also play Grounded and all the other games associated with the Game Pass as well. So that's going to be lovely. Let's see, our Megaloceros is just kind of standing there. Good stuff. This is a female. That's an old... Oh, that's a normal bear. That's a normal bear. Okay, so let's have a look here. Normal bear as opposed to a cave bear. Okay, so... The different species, I know that. But in terms of shape and, you know, the way they looked, bear is bear. With the exception of some bears, like the short-faced bear and spectacled bear nowadays, which is the last relative of, for example, Arctodus. And then we have the panda, of course, just being its own thing, doing its own thing. But generally, bear is bear. And this one is kind of munching, currently on air, but it is most likely eating some kind of plant matter. Typical omnivorous animal. Being an omnivore is great because if meat is in short supply, you can move on to vegetable matter. If plants are in short supply or berries are in short supply, you can just move over and do feed on plant or animals, you know, hunt animals and stuff like that, or scavenge perhaps as well. Let's see. See, Paleo Potato also will say that you've got far too many RPGs to finish. And then Johan also mentioning exactly finishing Majesty 2 now, and then plan to do Green Hell. Oh, yes, Green Hell. Oh, that was a lovely game. I absolutely love that game. Occasionally, I do still play it. Nick, myself, and a friend of ours, we played it recently. Introduced him to the game. Yeah, it's so much fun to actually play Green Hell. Once you get the hang of it, you know, after like 20, 30 deaths, it's a little bit easier to also survive. Oh, this is going to be a difficult hunt. We got one shot in and then it just started bolting. Our dogs are going after it. Not sure whether the dogs... Oh, Amied also died of old age. Another person died. Same. Amied also had disease earlier, or some kind of infection, unfortunately. He had some kind of infection previously. And I guess old age also caught up to her. Now that Megaloceros is still being hunted by our doggos. But let's see if we can perhaps get another shot or 3 in. Hopefully, come on. You guys must come a little bit closer and... Oh, you're going to miss. You're not going to... All of you are not going to shoot it. Come on. Now, in the open, the Megaloceros would be at an advantage because it is typical deer, very fast. Megaloceros has escaped. Yes, indeed. I noticed that. However, we can still hunt it. Come on. Just because it had escaped doesn't mean you can't hunt it more. But in the open, they would have outrun humans. But if you could chase them into densely wooded areas, you most likely had a chance. Because those big antlers there would have made it very difficult for them to move through the dense woodlands. I mean, you can imagine. I mean, these antlers here, as far as I know, were some of the largest, if not the largest antlers on any deer. Now, of course, being antlers, they would have shed that during the end of the rutting season, and then they would have regrown it. This is an honest advertisement to show to females in what condition they are. Because if a male is doing very well and has a lot of resources, he can spend a lot of those resources growing extravagant antlers. But if he's doing poorly this year, then he can't spend a lot of resources growing antlers, so his antlers would be kind of poor quality. So it's an honest advertisement showing females, showing the does, listen, this male is in tip-top shape. You want his genes. Okay, he has survived this year very, very well. Now, interesting, the coloration here, very reminiscent of how they would have looked. There are, of course, cave paintings of Megaloceros because they were such an integral part of Stone Age life. So there are some cave paintings indicating that they would have had most likely a darker band along here, a saddle over here, and most likely darker rump, and then lighter in between those dark patches, and most likely had these darker hooves as well, yes. So the color palette of this Megaloceros, I think it is actually quite spot on. Something we can also see is a bit of counter shading here, with darker color on top of the antelope body here, of the deer body, not antelope, deer body, and then lighter color on the belly here. You see this in a lot of different prey species. It breaks up the outline. They've done statistical tests and stuff like that, and it is more difficult to see an animal that actually has a darker top and a lighter bottom than one that is uniformly colored. Even if that uniform color is brown or green and blends in kind of the background, having two colors actually makes it more difficult to spot the deer in this case, the Megaloceros in this case. We also have in South Africa, for example, we've got the oryx or the gemsbuck. They've got grey above, then a black line and a white belly. Springbuck also light brown above, dark stripe in between and a white belly. You see the same with Thompson's gazelle, Dharma gazelle, dark brown or brown above, white belly below. In the arid regions, the white belly also will reflect a lot of sunlight, keeping the animal cool, especially sunlight that is bouncing off the ground onto the belly. Reflects that, keeps them a little bit cooler, but it also has the benefit of breaking up the outline, making it a little bit more difficult to actually spot, which is really, really cool. I love that. Let's see, Fairdark also mentioned, do the darker legs help break up the outline, or would it hinder it? So also most likely break up the outline. I am just seeing that for some reason my stream has stopped streaming, at least for me. I'm just checking to see whether this is for everybody. Hopefully you guys can still see me because I can't see myself here. So let's see. It looks like it is still working. Yeah, it is still working. Okay. For some reason my phone just like buffered. I'm like, oh no, the stream is not working. But I'm glad to see that it is working. Hopefully you guys can also still see it. I see this now, it is working for me. Let me just also put my phone on charge. There we go. Thanks, Johan. I see everything is fine there. And also, Fireduck also can still hear you and see me. Okay, good. I was like, you can hear me, but can you see me? That's the big question. That is the big question. Okay, glad you can see me. But yeah, having different contrasting colors here would definitely help break up the outline. So would make it more difficult to spot. Uniform colors more easy to spot than blotches or strong, high contrasting colors, dark and light. Bright and dull. Very often those are surprisingly good camouflage. I mean, I photographed an interesting bug earlier this year that had, if you look at each color individually, it's actually quite bright, like this neon green and an olive green and a yellow and a white and black as well. But mixed together, especially in blotches, it makes it blend in so nicely with the lichens and mosses in the forest that, yeah, you won't spot it. I just happened to see, well, I happened to find it because my brother and Nick called me to tell me, listen, there's an interesting bug over here. Come and have a look. You guys are exhausted, aren't you? Yeah, you're exhausted. You're still carrying around. Margor is still carrying around the flower. Margor was by that totem earlier. And Margor already had the flower when he was at the totem there. You know what, at this point in time, I don't think it is worth actually doing this hunt anymore. No, you know, guys, come on, go home. Go home, it's not worth it. Doing a big hunt for nothing. Come and hunt the bear. At least the bear will come and attack you. You, Arza, you may not want to be that close to a bear. I know, you know, you're part of the hunting squad, but maybe not. Don't do that. Maybe don't do that. No. That's one of our dogs. That's fine. Also, the predators probably saw in different color spectrum. No, most predators actually have relatively good vision. Cats in particular, very good vision. Dogs we typically think of as being colorblind, but they're not truly colorblind. They can see. They just see different to ours. They don't see in black and gray and white. They don't see black and white. They actually see color, but more similar to some colorblind humans, for example. That's more how they would see. Oh, Amid died on the hunt. Oh, so that's what happened. I know Amid died. I didn't know it was on the hunt. Oh, shame. Amid. Okay, now you're just kind of chilling over here. Well, I say chilling. You're like freezing at the moment. Like really chilling because you are out in the cold and you are dead. Right. Where are our hunters? There they come. Slowly but surely making their way over to this bear to come and hunt it. To hunt her. Right, but yeah, so predators. The thing is, if you are a predator or prey, you are almost constantly locked in an evolutionary arms race with the other group. So if you are a predator, you are trying to find ways to catch your prey, to spot your prey more easily, hunt it more effectively, kill it quicker, get it as quickly as possible. But if you are a prey animal, you are trying to not be eaten, you're trying to not be spotted, you're trying to not be caught, and you're trying not to be killed. So predators come up with speed and super sharp fangs, or in the case of Smilodon and other saber-toothed cats, massive canines to dispatch of their prey more quickly. Or they have camouflage. Leopards, for example, jaguars also use their spots to break up the outline. Tigers with their stripes to break up the outline, so that they actually can get closer to their prey to pounce on them. But if you are a prey animal, you want to be camouflaged, so you use blotches and stuff like that to hide. You also want to be very fast, or if you can, like buffalo for example, be in a herd and be aggressive. Make it too dangerous for the predators to actually attack you. Of course, some things that you as a predator can use, because I mean, very few things are actually just predatory. Some of them are prey to other bigger, meaner things. Think, for example, of snakes. Snakes will catch rodents and birds, all kinds of small stuff. But a snake eagle is a special eagle that specializes in hunting snakes. Secretary birds, for example, as well, specializing in hunting snakes. So the snakes they catch things, they are a predator, but they also prey to other things. And some of those adaptations that they have to be a predator also helps them to avoid being prey. Apparently we did hunt the bear. To also become prey to other bigger predators. Like the venom of snakes, you can use to dispatch of prey. You can also use it to protect yourself against something. Okay, against another predator. Alright. Let's see if everybody here has got tools. Okay, you're going to Amid. Are you going to go carry Amid? Okay. Will someone perhaps... can someone perhaps please come and pick up? Because there are some stuff lying around here. Can someone perhaps come and pick that up? And pick... there's a sickle. Okay, I don't want you picking up Amid, but okay. Get a leather outfit, that's also valuable, and you can just come over here in the meantime. You're going to go get Amid, you're going to get the leather outfit, and when you can, Emna, you are going to get, there we go, the bone sickle. And I think then everything... Oh, okay, you can't pick up Amid. Okay, fine. Amid is just going to kind of lie there, I guess. Someone is probably going to come and collect Amid. Would have been great to have the sledge to actually carry them off. But oh well. I guess not. Amid is just going to become one with the world around her. Okay. Let's see, this tent can be broken down, but nobody has been is breaking it down. We can also start breaking down a second tent, or upgrading it to a hut as well. Slowly but surely we can upgrade everything. Workload is surprisingly low, yet people are not doing it. Alright. Let's speed things up a little bit here. And then let's see, what are we going to go for next? I think fortifications most likely will be the thing to go for next. Yeah. Either that or megalithism. Like, I know it sounds strange to go for megalithism, but I don't know, I want to build a big stone circle. I want to do that. I want the rolling megalith. I want to roll the rocks or the big stones around. So if I don't get to do that tonight, I am going to, and I don't think I will be able to do that tonight, no, because we've got about 15 minutes left. So I will then, off screen, I will get a whole bunch of knowledge points. And then when we have our next stream next week, we are going to build a big old megalithic structure. What are you carrying around? Stones. That's a sledge. Oh, it's a trader. The traders are coming. Oh, lovely. Let's see. I was like, okay, yeah, I know that's a sledge, but what is on the sledge? That is the question. Okay, so here comes the trader. Let's see what they have to sell. Alrighty. No skills. Linen cloth, yes. Wool cloth, tannins, linen, log, bone spears, and straw. Okay, yeah, sure. Woolen stuff would be great to get, but we don't need that yet. Okay, we are going to wait for a technology. We're going to save for that. And when we have a technology that's for sale, then we're going to trade. Alright, in the meantime, both tents are being broken down. This one obviously needs some materials, and then once they have got the materials in there, they're going to build it. And then we're going to get 2 more huts. Oh, that is marvelous. This is so nice. A new human has also joined the settlement. Wonderful. We've got enough space. We had enough space. We don't have enough space for that one person. A new human was also born. We definitely don't have enough space now. But the hut is being built, so we'll have enough space in a moment. Okay. It's actually kind of unfortunate timing there. If the person were arrived like soon rather than then, we may have had more than just one person spawning, I think. Because we don't have enough space for more than, or didn't have enough space for more than one person. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to hopefully get some more people a little bit later on. Possibly by the time we have our next stream, we are going to have more people than 33 in this little settlement of ours. There we go, another hut built. 5 huts built, another knowledge point for us. Now, how many do we need to build now? We need a total of 15 to actually have, to get more knowledge points. Granaries, we need to build 2 more. And we also need to build a stable. Now, that will be under residences, I guess. There we go, stable. How big is it? It's not too big. How many animals does it keep? I don't know. Okay, now we are going to have some kind of designated area for our livestock. I don't really want to have it over here. I think I would like to have it in this area over here. I think that is where I'm going to make it. As for where, oh, there we go, we can build it over here. You know what, let's build it over here. We'll build fortifications around here. We are going to chop down some of the trees around here. You know, the ones that aren't useful. So far, everything is useful. There we go, a beech tree we can chop down. Oh, there's a wolf pack. You know what, let's cancel for now. We don't need the stables yet. Okay, basic stables house 5 animals. Tier 2 stables house 10. Good to know. I think you maybe unlocked at least one more building type with thatching. Let's have a look here. Thatching. So there's the outfitter as well. Cheesemaker, workshop, watchtower, mud, masonry. Whole bunch of stuff we can potentially unlock. Production. Cheesemaker. The weaver, we need weaving. Yeah. Okay, for the workshop we need copper smelting. So cheesemaker, we can also get. Okay, we haven't got anything there. Funerary, we don't have anything. And here, we don't have anything else. Residence is just stable still. Okay. Storage. I've got everything there. Alright, so I think next time I will then build the stables and we'll get animals as well. That's the idea. Next week, that is going to be our main objective. Get as many animals as we possibly can. But I think that is probably a good spot to end for today. So thank you very much everyone for joining me on our little adventure here, where things went far better than I expected. Hope you enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun. And then of course next week I'll be back with another bit of Dawn of Man, and we're going to then head hopefully towards the Copper Age, and things are going to start heating up. So until next time everybody, stay safe.